There is a city not meant for human habitation. In that place, the cold doesn't just freeze everything. It can also numb your body in mere minutes, should you let your guard down. Yakutsk is a little-known city, yet it holds the record as the coldest inhabited city on Earth. With its hundreds of meters of permafrost and seemingly endless, drawn-out winters, life here is a harsh challenge beyond the imagination of many. But why did humans choose to settle in this place? How did they turn this harsh, frigid land into their home over millennia? And could you adapt to that icy world? Join us to find out. The land that should never have existed. Hidden within the heart of Russia lies a land rarely seen on world maps. Yakutsk, a name that sounds like a challenge to those daring enough to step foot and explore. This city is located on the Lena Plain in the Sakha Republic, more than 8,000 kilometers away from the capital Moscow. It is also known as the coldest inhabited city on Earth. Winter in Yakutsk is unlike anywhere else. When temperatures drop to -50, even -60 degrees Celsius, the entire city seems frozen inside a giant refrigerator. Notably, this place once recorded a record low of -70 degrees Celsius, a figure that sends shivers down anyone's spine. In that cold, even an unwary breath was enough to make every movement unbearably heavy. However, this frozen land is far from desolate. For thousands of years, the indigenous Yakut people, a Turkic-speaking ethnic group, have lived here. Their ancestors migrated from the Lake Baikal region, bringing with them exceptional survival skills. Faced with seemingly unbearable cold, they learned to hunt, fish, and herd reindeer, turning the impossible into everyday routines. By the 17th century, as the Russian Empire expanded eastward, the Yakutia region was gradually annexed. During the Soviet era, it was also chosen as a site for exiling prisoners. Every day, intellectuals, writers, scientists, and political dissidents are sent to this desolate land. Despite facing countless hardships, they not only persevered but also built a strong community. Today, over 350,000 people still live in Yakutsk. Built on permafrost, they have turned this place into a true home. And what puzzles anyone setting foot here for the first time? Why do people still choose to stay? What could possibly keep them in this frozen world, seemingly without an exit? The road to Yakut, a journey not for the faint of heart. To reach Yakut, you need to mentally prepare for a challenging journey. Especially in the current context, when international sanctions make traveling to Russia more difficult than ever. The direct flights that used to exist have now almost completely disappeared. Many travelers are forced to fly through connecting points, as simply securing a flight ticket to Yakutsk is already no small challenge. Some people depart from sun-drenched lands like Portugal, then have to transit through Istanbul, one of the few cities still operating commercial flights to Russia. The next segment is a mandatory stop in Moscow, where the freezing weather greets visitors from afar with temperatures as low as 1 degree Celsius. But that was only the beginning of a much harsher cold spell waiting in the east. The flight from Moscow to Yakutsk takes nearly 7 hours to get passengers to their destination. For many people, stepping off the plane is a lifelong memorable experience. The cold wind rushed in, lashing straight at the face, making fingertips go numb in an instant. Eyelashes, hair, and even breath froze instantly. Feel as if you. On the streets, most cars keep their engines running continuously, even when no one is inside. If the weather is too cold, the engine oil can freeze, making the car unable to start. Many vehicles are fitted with thick coverings to prevent cold air from entering the engine. Car owners with better financial means often park their vehicles in garages with solid roofs. A solution that, while not at all cheap, is absolutely essential to protect vehicles from harsh weather conditions. Here are the 2 translation options, depending on the intended emphasis. After just a few minutes, my hand went numb, and every step became heavy. And a dull headache can easily set in if the body fails to adapt in time. In Yakut, no one dares to risk bare skin exposed too long in the -60 degrees Celsius cold. It's no coincidence that the locals consider choosing the right clothing and winter gear a survival skill. Before coming to Yakut, everyone must master the basic survival rules. In Yakutia, winter is not just a typical cold season, but also a uniquely harsh experience. It is an environment that forces people to adhere to strict survival rules if they want to maintain a normal life. These rules are not written down but are passed down through generations, deeply ingrained in daily life. Stepping outside, everyone had to meticulously check every layer of their clothing, not allowing even the slightest oversight. Just a pair of poor quality gloves, a flimsy helmet, or an uncovered patch of skin can make you pay the price with frostbite, or even permanent, irreversible damage. People here don't dress for the season but for the temperature. Every time it gets a little colder, they layer on another piece of clothing to stay warm. At temperatures between -40 and -50 degrees Celsius, regular clothing is practically useless. The locals here typically wear special suits, lined with warm fur and designed to be completely windproof. Footwear is also an essential factor that cannot be overlooked. Traditional shoes are often made from deerskin, lined with thick fur inside to keep the feet warm during long hours standing in the cold outdoors. Daily life also requires careful planning. Moving from home to the market or school cannot be done haphazardly. One must clearly determine the distance, time, and rest stops along the way. Even children from noble families were taught early on to recognize the initial signs of stiffness and how to handle emergency situations. When outdoors, all actions should be performed quickly. Only remove your gloves to use your phone or take photos for a few brief seconds. If prolonged, your hands will go numb, making everything much more difficult. Even electronic devices like phones or cameras cannot function normally in extreme temperatures. Users are forced to keep them close to their bodies to utilize warmth from body heat. One of the most important secrets is understanding your own limits. The Yakuts always know when to stop to avoid unnecessary risks. They don't try to fight the harsh cold but instead learn to respect and harmonize with it. It is precisely this that has allowed them to build a unique survival culture, where even the smallest actions contribute to safeguarding their own safety. A city suddenly transformed into a giant freezer amidst nature. In Yakutsk, food preservation is entirely different. With outdoor temperatures often ranging from -40 to -50 degrees Celsius, sometimes even dropping to -60 degrees Celsius, the entire city becomes a giant natural freezer. You don't need a fridge or dry ice, just leave things outside, and they'll freeze in an instant. This is clearly evident when you visit the local markets. Amid the open air space, dozens of stalls still display meat, fish, and dried goods, even as temperatures can drop to -50 degrees Celsius. Piles of fish weighing dozens of kilograms were stacked on wooden shelves, frozen solid like rocks. Nearby, horse meat, venison, and various vegetables and fruits were also displayed in the same manner. The way food is selected in Yakutia also has its own unique characteristics. Unlike other places where people typically rely on smell or touch to check for freshness, the locals here mainly depend on the color, the amount of snow clinging to the food, and the evenness of the frozen layer. A fresh and delicious fish should have smooth, shiny skin without discoloration and maintain its original shape even when fully frozen. The winter lasting over 6 months each year makes farming nearly impossible, as the permafrost prevents plants from growing. Fresh food primarily comes from ice fishing and livestock farming adapted to harsh climates, including Yakutian horses and reindeer. After purchasing, people often store food on the balcony or in natural cold storage areas. The outdoor environment maintains a deep sub-zero temperature year-round, making frozen food storage exceptionally easy. Frozen meat or fish is cut into small pieces before cooking. Knives and hand saws have become indispensable and familiar tools in the Yakut kitchen. Another unique aspect of the local cuisine is the custom of enjoying meat and fish while they are still frozen. Thinly sliced horse meat, served with salt and pepper dip. Frozen fish is thinly sliced and enjoyed chilled, delivering a unique and unforgettable culinary experience. This is not just a way of eating to cope with the cold, but has become a distinctive cultural feature of the Yakut people. In a city where everything runs smoothly, life goes on at its usual pace, and the market gathers as regularly as ever. The food was stored for months on end, while the people continuously adapted to the freezing environment. When the cold blends into daily life, becoming a distinctive cultural beauty. Living in Yakutsk is not only a physical challenge but also demands an adaptation in lifestyle. The cold here has seeped deep into the rhythm of daily life, from meals and sleep to familiar habits and rituals. One of the oldest traditions is steam bathing in wooden houses. In a city without a tap water system, this is almost the only way to ensure personal hygiene. Every time we bathe, the whole family spends hours burning dry firewood to heat the room, raising the temperature up to 70 degrees Celsius. The warm space dispelled the biting cold, helping the body gradually regain its vitality. The water used to wash the 3 mats is mainly sourced from snow or ice on the Lena River. People collect large chunks of ice and bring them home, waiting for them to melt. Laundry is usually done on weekends. After washing, the clothes are hung outside to dry. The low temperature not only helps them dry faster but also naturally disinfects them. The cuisine in Yakutsk carries the distinctive flavors of the highlands. A daily meal is never complete without steaming bowls of soup to ward off the cold. Horse meat, frozen fish, and animal fat are commonly used because they are high in energy. The cuisine in Yakutsk carries a strong local identity, featuring dishes that highlight the fresh, natural flavors of regional ingredients. Combined with distinctive spices, this dish is not merely cuisine but also carries the beauty of traditional culture. Sleep requires careful preparation. At Yakutsk, blankets and mattresses are crafted with extra thickness using animal fur or heat-retaining fibers, delivering optimal warmth. Many families still maintain the habit of warming their beds before sleeping by using hot water bottles or compact heating devices. Keeping your body warm throughout the night is very important for protecting your health. Even during festive occasions, cold weather can still occur. Outdoor events are often held at noon when the weather is sunny and pleasant. The people donned their neat traditional attire, singing and dancing together in the snowy weather. This is how they maintain their optimistic spirit and strengthen community solidarity. Floating houses on the eternal sea ice. In Yakutsk, not only people but even buildings must adapt to the unique geological conditions, the permafrost ground. This is a soil layer that maintains a temperature below 0 degrees Celsius, located at a depth of 400 to 600 meters. If buildings are constructed directly on this ground, the heat from the structure will cause the permafrost to melt. At this point, the ground becomes soft and mushy, which can easily lead to subsidence and cause cracks in structures. To avoid this situation, the Yakuts often build their houses on concrete or steel pillars driven deep into the ground. The house is designed to be entirely elevated, creating an insulated airspace between the floor and the ground. Many houses in Yakutsk appear to be teetering in midair when viewed from the outside. This is not merely a technical solution, but also the culmination of centuries of human learning and adaptation to harsh icy conditions. The water, gas, and drainage pipeline systems cannot be installed underground. If installed that way, they would freeze. Instead of being buried underground, the pipelines are laid above ground, wrapped in insulation, and equipped with a continuous heating system to maintain stable operation. Even the burial process faced many difficulties. To dig a grave, people had to light fires on the ground for 3 to 4 days to melt the frozen layer. Many families have to wait until summer, when the ground is softer, to carry out burials more easily. The architecture in Yakutsk is a vivid testament to human intelligence and remarkable adaptability. The houses floating on the sea not only stand resilient against harsh nature but also bear witness to the unwavering will and enduring spirit of coastal communities. Here are the natural English translations for your options. Beneath the permafrost of the Yakut region lies an entire hidden world. This ice layer is not only a solid foundation supporting the city, but also a treasure trove preserving historical traces from tens of thousands of years ago. Thanks to the consistently deep sub-zero temperatures, this environment has kept the ice perfectly preserved, safeguarding prehistoric animal species. The woolly mammoth is one of the most remarkable discoveries. Their perfectly preserved mummies, complete with skin, fur, and even soft tissue, were discovered within the ice blocks. Some specimens still preserve DNA, enabling the study and potential restoration of the species that once dominated this icy eastern land. Not only mammoths, but many other animals such as woolly rhinos and ancient horses were also buried in layers of permafrost. Every time the ice melts due to climate change, locals and researchers discover more strange new specimens. Thanks to this, Yakutsk has become one of the world's most unique archaeological regions. Alongside biological fossils, the permafrost hides another treasure: diamonds. This region contributes over 25% of the global diamond output. The largest diamond mines in Russia are located deep beneath the permafrost in the Yakutsk region. This is the primary source of income, enabling many residents to remain in this frigid land. The diamond mining industry not only creates numerous jobs but also contributes to building modern infrastructure, helping Yakutsk become a vibrant city right in the heart of Siberia. However, this also makes it more difficult to protect the permafrost layer, which is highly vulnerable to impacts from mining activities. The beliefs and culture of the Yakutsk people vividly reflect their ethnic identity, deeply intertwined with nature and a unique spiritual life. They worship natural deities, practice shamanic rituals, and preserve a rich cultural heritage through epic tales, traditional dances, and intricate carving arts. Having survived for thousands of years in the harsh cold, the Yakutsk people have cultivated an incredibly diverse and profound spiritual life. Religion, faith, and traditional rituals are not only a spiritual refuge but also a bond that unites communities in the face of harsh nature. The Yakuts originate from Turkic-speaking ethnic groups who migrated to the northern regions. Before Christianity was introduced, they had their own belief system, deeply influenced by polytheistic traditions. To this day, although most Yakuts adhere to Russian Orthodoxy, deep in their souls, ancient traditional beliefs still remain strong. In the belief of the Yakut people, nature is a living entity. The sky, the earth, rivers, streams, forests, or mountains, all possess their own spirits. The Yakut people believe that living in harmony with nature is essential for survival. Before every forest trip, hunting expedition, or fishing trip, they perform a small ceremony to ask for permission and pray for safety from the spirits. The fire worship ritual is an indispensable cultural hallmark. In Yakut culture, fire symbolizes life and warmth amidst the bitter cold. In ceremonies of thanksgiving and prayers for bountiful harvests, offerings are often made to the sacred flame. Festivals such as Ayuk or the Solar New Year celebration are occasions when the community gathers together, singing, dancing, and expressing reverence for the natural deities. The Yakuts also hold a profound belief in the cycle of life's reincarnation. The discovery of intact mammoth tusks is not merely archaeological evidence, but is also regarded as a symbol of the connection between the past and the present. In the frozen world, where white snow blankets the paths, it is faith, spiritual rituals, and a deeply rooted cultural identity that fortify the Yakut people's resilience and unite their community. What enabled them to conquer the coldest region on Earth? Though living in the coldest place on Earth, the Yakut people never fail to amaze anyone who sets foot here with their optimism, unyielding resilience, and unforgettable warm hospitality. In the bitter cold of -50 degrees Celsius or even -60 degrees Celsius, simply stepping outside is already a harsh challenge. Yet, the Yakut people persevere in their daily lives, maintaining a steady rhythm. They go to school, work, celebrate festivals, and warmly welcome visitors from all over the world. They see the cold as a companion, testing their will and tempering their spirit through each harsh winter. That resilient spirit was forged by the harsh living conditions themselves. Every year, winter lasts up to 7 months, cutting off transportation and creating countless obstacles in daily life. Yet, it is precisely in times of hardship that the Yakut people learn to cherish the bonds of community and neighborly solidarity. The family is the cornerstone of society, where generations bond, love, and protect one another. The spirit of unity within the community is the strength that helps them overcome the most difficult times. Coming to Yakut, what impresses visitors the most is the warm hospitality of the locals. Despite living in a harsh, freezing climate, their hearts still burn brightly with human kindness. The Yakut people are always ready to welcome guests with open doors, inviting them to enjoy traditional dishes and share everyday stories in the midst of the frigid land. Smiles, sincere handshakes, and warm gazes have become indelible memories in the hearts of all who have ever set foot in this place. The resilient lifestyle of the Yakut people is also reflected in how they raise their children. From a young age, children are trained to adapt to the cold, develop self-reliance, and cherish traditional cultural values. Amid dreams of reaching out to the world, the youth of Yakutsk still carry a deep pride for their homeland, where ice may blanket the earth and sky, but it can never freeze the fire in their hearts. Amidst a world that seemed endlessly frozen, it was the warmth of human compassion and unwavering determination that breathed life into this place. In Yakutsk, where the cold can freeze all things, people still endure and survive through the endless winters. Floating houses on the icy surface, warm rituals by the crackling fire, and radiant smiles amidst the biting cold create a city that is both fierce and brimming with vitality. In this place, the cold is no longer an enemy but blends into the rhythm of life, helping to temper one's will and spirit. In that frozen world, it is the community's solidarity, faith, and optimistic spirit that have kept the warmth of life alive for the Yakut people. Yakutsk is not only the coldest city on earth, but also a testament to humanity's enduring resilience. Even in the harshest of places, people always find a way to kindle the flame of survival.